Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Lili Nishmasi Mimirasi Rusmas Mordechai. Right, it's a gewaldige news. This big Shabbaton that we're all very excited about. I need to tell you before it even goes online that we have the world-class speakers. Reb Y.Y. Jacobson himself is going to spend the entire Shabbos with us. It's huge, huge. And Reb Ari Ben Shushan. And a good few others. He is a big part of this year. And the music is going to be unbelievable. We secured, I don't know if I could say it yet. Where's Tomer? We could say? Eli Dickman himself from Eretz Yisrael is flying in with his band. We had an unbelievable, when he was here by the Siyum Amoyed, it was out of this world. They bring him in for what? For all the HaSs, all the HaSs concerts and the Kitzur, so it's going to be unbelievable. So yesterday, during Shir, we came up with a Moiridik idea where every single person from the Shir, whether he could afford it or not, could come to the Shabbos, and that is, if you know somebody that's a corporate sponsor kind of person, a big company and this, and asks him, goes out of his comfort zone. So a few people reached out to me.
I got a corporate sponsor.
Bemis? Emes. Who? No, seriously. Did you go out of your comfort zone for this?
Very much.
Very much. Wow. Okay, so you just ruined my whole thing over here. No, Yishkoyach Noam. What? Should I show? Hold on a second. Let me see if I can play this. Yishkoyach Godel Ma'oid. But you're not getting a free room.
So I got cut off. I never ask for money. It's out of my comfort zone. I don't like asking people for money. But it's a gewaldige Sache, and I think it's a chashuv thing, and obviously. So I'm stepping out of my comfort zone, and I'm going to work to see if we can get some sponsors. Thank you again for the dedication.
All right, so this is a big friend of this year who gives a lot of money this year, but he said that he's never asked in his life for money from anybody, but for this, he's going to ask for sponsors. He's chaps how chashuv it is to get other people to come, to help other people be able to afford it, etc., etc. He's going out of it. And Baruch Hashem, 2 other people already secured sponsors, and here Noam. All right, so we're on to something. Bezer Hashem. Rabbi Isai Dovi Glauber was spotted catching the shear, waiting for a bris Sunday morning. When are they announcing Kvat already in the Pomona Shul, Kiddush Hashem? Shalom Bracha Rav Eli. I joined Kiddushin Daf Beis, the MDY Daf Yomi program a few weeks ago. He's from Kiryas Yoel. His name is, it could be just got mixed up here with the way it's Eli Melech Reich. When I read it the first time, my name is Eli Melech. We're listening to your interview on one of the recent podcasts. I guess what is it called? The last, what? Latest Talk. That's right, Latest Talk. Yishkoyach. That's what it was. And I'm really hooked to the extent that I'm not listening to another Chagiga, Daf Zayin. The Hebrew and the English got mixed up here. It's Geschmack to the Daf. But he wrote a beautiful, even Kiryas Yoel, but he wrote a beautiful English email here. Bemis. A few days ago, Kiddushin Daf Chavav, you mentioned with excitement a Pshat al Piedrush, the Marganisa that's on top of the needle. Kitzi has a Rai, Lidvarai, Chiddush, V'chulu, V'chulu. Anyways, B'choloifen, and in Amod, because Shurim al Mkavel, L'zakot, L'skot, L'sayim, L'chat Kol HaShas B'siyat Shmaya, Zborach Kol HaBrochos, Amuz B'Torah, Tich Oisher, V'Oisher, V'Achav Zadas, B'Riz Gufim, Tich Simcha V'Nachas, Ksiv Chasim Toiva, B'Kovid V'Harotza, Eli Melech Reich, Kiryas Yoel, New York, Yeshikoyach Rav Eli Melech. Hi Rav Eli, I'm 15 years old, live in Boston. First started doing Daf Yomi in Tainus, but fell off the bandwagon. Vamis got too complicated. But I'm 100% sure that happened because I wasn't watching Yeshir yet. I started there in the middle of Gittin, and watching Yeshir ever since, doing Daf every day. It used to be a struggle for me, but now with the Shir, I can't wait to do it. It's the first thing I do in my mind every morning, first thing I do, I have Shachris. Love Yeshurim, they're amazing. Thank you so much, Yeshurim. Change with Daf for me. Shana Tova, Azi, Vaiden. Mashu Kazeh. Now, 3 emails in one day, the same topic. I landed in New York Sunday morning, got an Uber, Slicha Shachris, didn't have a ride to get to my brother-in-law, so I started shelling my suitcases, taking 15 minutes. After a minute, I decided to turn on my headphones and listen to the daf so I could get some torah. A minute later, a car pulls up, and a fellow, Marv Stearns, offered me a ride, told him I'm from RBS, and asked if I know Eli Stefansky and MDY. So I got a ride from MDYer, who listens every day, And he's a huge Baal Chesed, J. Axelrod. Yeah. Ken Milberg. Tonight, my mother's 12th Yartzeit. This is Kalman from the 5 towns. Chaya by Yisrael. Sponsoring today's Daf, Holocaust survivor. I also want to thank the MDY family, so many of whom came to the Shiva recently. My beloved daughter, 20-something-year-old daughter was nifter. Folks like Fischel, Dr. Ben Schwartz. Kalman number 2, Dr. Dan, Avram Farkboy, Farkovich. Oh, Farkovich, Avram Farkovich. Okay. Mati, Bishavu, Banim, Bishavu, Banim, Ligbuna, Bishavu, Banim. Don't ever leave us for so long, otherwise the bush will be 10 times. I truly believe. Listen to this. It says. Kalman from the 5 towns. I truly believe that my daughter's tikkun was completed. Mission accomplished. I feel blessed by Hashem. I have her for 29 years. Before we had to return her, she's happy to be reminded of the family upstairs. And Baruch Hashem, when Mashiach comes tomorrow, please, we'll all be united again. My mother, Hadara, my dad, Menachem Mendel Ben Simcha, etc., etc. Thank you, Kalman. Josh Layton. This morning, my wife's car died on the road to the 5 towns. She asked a random person to give her a boost. The kitzer. We lost the cables. The Heli Yid offered to go home. Come back to help. When I got there, I took a look at the car, and to my surprise, it was the gray BMW with the joint MDY plates. Not only is he a holy member of the Shir, but is he also a huge Baal Chesed, so big Yishkar to him. I could give him Shior, Josh, Layton, Rebbe in Darche. It's a Rebbe in Darche. Yes, Josh, it says. Rabbi Isai, today is Slichas. Right after Shir the Slichas and right before the first minyan also had Slichas, so we need to pick it up a little bit. The Koil sponsored, may we merit the Crown Hashem. The Mazel sponsored by Lakewood Lebovic families, Lakewood New Jersey, because Torah and Achdus are the best segula in honor of Rav Eli, Siyum, HaShas, and all the MDYers. Parnas HaChodesh, the second one, the Nishma Zechariah ben Moshe. Parnas HaChodesh, Rochel bas Leba for Refuah Shelemah B'Korei. Parnas HaChodesh, the Nishma Chaya bas Yosef. Parnas HaShavua. Thank you to Hashem for all the good He has given us and continues to give us. Parnas HaYoim. Our boy said this is a huge, huge Mazal Tov for the MDY Mishpacha. Shlomo Rosenberg, who does unbelievable behind the scenes and is a big honor, doesn't want his name ever to be mentioned. His son got engaged. His son was by us for Shabbos. Mazal Tov, the engagement of Shimmy Rosenberg and Hasya Zahavi, an MDY Golden Dove story. Shlomo Chaim, in honor of our dear friend dedicated MDYer Binyomin Goldman's birthday. Mazal Tov, in honor of my Hebrew birthday, whoever you are, Mazal Tov, and don't forget to give us brachas. Mazal Tov the Moshe and Suzanne Zaret on the birth of a grandson, great-grandson. First one, right? He's doing tshuva. It goes after the last week, you know. Oh. Okay. Kalman 5 towns, Yartzeit, Mam. Chaya bat Yisrael, Shloishim, Dora Hadara, Sarah bat Kalman, Nasin, the Neshama should have an Aliyah, the Neshama should have an Aliyah. And the art is sponsored by Yosef and Chaya Sarah for all the schusim that come from supporting Limudat Torah. So, I have a shaila here. If you have 2 guys that are into learning, and you only have enough money to support one of them is very, very smart, and he gets things, and he accomplishes a lot because he has that brain. The other one is a much harder worker, not as sharp. Who should you support? Of course, the what? The harder worker. Who says smarter one?
I do. Because you can teach more people.
What do you say? You say the smarter one? Why? Because you did the sugya. Yeah. The answer is, according to Rav Eli, the smarter one. I'm going to see it in the sugya a little later. It goes against what we would think, no? Common sense. So So we have like this. We just had a Mishnah that Hegdish, the Beis Hamikdash, acquires things differently than regular human beings. Regular human beings we acquire with Mashiach. The Beis Hamikdash acquires things with money. So basically we have 4 cases. We have 2 cases where a person acquired from the Beis Hamikdash. All 4 cases a person acquires something from the Beis Hamikdash. He goes to the Beis Hamikdash and buys something off of them. 2 cases he bought it with money, and 2 cases he bought it with Mashiach. There's a double standard. The individual who buys from the Beis Hamikdash almost always loses. So if the price goes up, he has to pay the extra. If the price goes down, he loses. Just tip me. Into Tesla. So whoever bought a Tesla X in Eretz Yisrael a week ago just lost $50,000 today because the price just went down 150,000 shekel.
And that's not Hegdish.
So if you were to purchase that from Hegdish, you take the loss. Even if you just bought it with Mashiach, and with Hegdish you can only buy with Kesef, you take a loss. There's one case though. We're going to see in a second. One of the 4 cases. So 2 cases are with Mashiach, 2 cases are with money. 1 case the price went up, and 1 case the price went down. In both, Kesef Mashiach you have price up, price down. So let's see top of Daf Yomi Amud Aleph. And then after that we go to the Mishnah, the famous Mishnah in Kiddushin, which is basically easy. I got it talking about swimming and chinuch and all sorts of gishmak stuff. What? Kibud aim. Okay, so case number 1 is right over here. If the person was trying to acquire from the Beis Hamikdash, let's think about it ourselves, or boysai. From the Beis Hamikdash you acquire with money and money only. So he went and he acquired something with the Beis Hamikdash, not with money, but with Mashiach, and the price went up. What should he do? He should pay the extra amount of money. Why? Because the price went up. And he didn't do a kinyan. The only way to do a kinyan with the Beis Hamikdash is with money. So, he made a deal with them that it's going to cost 100. But by the time he paid them, first he did Mashiach, he took it to himself, where at a typical store, when you go to the store, you purchase it with Mashiach. Not here. So therefore, Noisam Masayim, he loses. My time of V'nosan HaKesef V'kamloi. I just want to show you the pasuk. I showed it to you the other day, but it's just very interesting. This is where it says V'nosan HaKesef V'kamloi. Does anybody see that? Correct. That's what you see. V'yosef Kesef V'kamloi. The Gemara calls it V'nosan HaKesef V'kamloi. Okay. Just wanted to point that out again. So case number 1 is he tried to do Mashiach. Mashiach doesn't work with Hegdish. V'nosan HaKesef. Kesef works. So therefore he has to pay the higher price. Mishacha b'masayim. What happens if case number 2, the price went down? He made up with Beis Hamikdash. He's going to buy the Tesla X from them for 200. That's the normal price. Suddenly the prices drop. All he did was Mashiach. He took the keys from them. He drove around. He brought the car home. The prices dropped. Too bad. I mean, he could theoretically walk away from the deal if he wants to, because he didn't do a kinyan yet. But if he wants the deal, he can't say, yesterday was 100 and I bought it for... No. It dropped the price, he has to give the original price. My time, you're right, that Hegdish you purchase with the way you acquire, not the purchase, you acquire through money only, but it's impossible that a Hegdish should have more power. So therefore, basically we're going to dance some 2 chasanas over here, and we're going to say, no, Hegdish also works with Mashiach, and you did Mashiach at the higher price, pay the higher price. Huh? Yeah, you could walk away. Because there wasn't a kinyan yet. As always, that's Allah. Now, Pedoy b'Masayim. Now, next case is, now he's using Kesef. He paid money. The price dropped. So 3 cases where this fellow is out of luck. He's up against Hegdish. He has to pay the higher price of 200. My taima, Well, it works with money. So since he works with money, this is obvious. You can't take anything back. The Torah says money works, so he paid for it at the higher price. The fact that it went down tomorrow, too bad. That's a loss, according to everybody. But here's the one case that's very different. Pedoi b'mana, he gave 100 to the Beis Hamikdash, and the price went up. He gave money at the lower price, and then the price went up. Over here, he gains. He doesn't have to give the 200, only 100. So again, in a case of money, where the price went up, then he gains. Why? Well, if he was an individual buying from a friend, it would only be b'mashicha. Why all of a sudden now he should be able to dance on two chasanas? Hegdish should dance on two chasanas and say, pay us the higher price. Says the Gemara, so there's a Mishnah in Bava Metzia. It says, the first Mishnah in Azov, it says there's a curse called Mishapara. And basically it goes like this: Mishapara man shidor hamabel umidor haflaga, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, who took a revenge on the Dor HaMabel Dor HaFlaga, who asli para memisha oime b'diburoi. A person who just says he's going to do something, and he takes it back. He says, well, listen, we don't have a contract, we don't have this. Whatever it is, if that's against what they do, like in the Diamond District, they say Mazel, and that's it, it's over. And if you go back on that, it's a Mishapara.
If he gave money.
No.
What? What, in the Diamond District? No, Mazel. Over here he gave, yeah.
The person who gave money.
Why is it called Mishapar? Because he gave money.
Yeah, but we want to invoke what regular people do. I want to say, forget the money. Well, the Maisa, people only are kind of hegdish, so let him pay more to the Beis Hamikdash. No, it's over. Zogt the Heilige Mishnah. Kol mitzvahs haben alav. The way we understand it simply, the Gemara is going to have trouble sort of understanding it that simple, but the way it is, and that's the maskana of the Gemara, any mitzvah that the father has to perform on his son, such as bris milah, pidyon haben, torah, as we're going to see soon, anoshim chayavim and anoshim pturis. A mother is not mechuyev to be mal her son, to do pidyon haben if there's no father around. V'chol mitzvahs havel haben, and any mitzvah that the son has to do for the father, which is kibud aveim, echad anoshim ve'echad noshim chayavim. Men and women are mechuyev in this mitzvah. Now, what is this Mishnah doing here? There's a number of pshatim. Why is this here in Masechtas Kiddushin? The Refuah says because we're talking about Kiddushin. One of the chiyuvim that a father has is to marry off his son, so it fits right into Masechtas Kiddushin. The Pnei Yeshua says that up until now we're talking about kinyanim. How do you acquire a cow? How do you acquire a goat? How do you acquire a wife, an eved? And now we want to know, how do you acquire olam haba? So we're talking about mitzvahs and acquiring them. V'chol mitzvahs asay shazman grama, such as Rosh Hashanah shofar, a mitzvah that's time dependent, that only has to do with a certain time of the day, certain time of the year. Anoshim chayavin, v'noshim ptura is the famous halacha of mitzvahs asay shazman grama. Women are part. V'chol mitzvahs asay shelo yazman grama, and any mitzvah that's not time dependent, like returning a lost object. So then everybody's chayav. V'chol mitzvahs lo yisasei, and any aveira like eating treif, bein shazman groma, bein shelo yazman groma, whether it's time dependent or not. Echad anoshim, v'echad anoshim chayavim. Men and women are chayav equally. Chutz, there's three exceptions. Chutz mibal takif, ubal tashchis, ubal tatam l'meisen. The iser to round off the corner, as you can see in this picture over here on the right, it's kind of hard to see. I don't know if I should do that here. Oh, here. Right over here, there's a red line. So you're not allowed to round it off. This whole area you can't cut off. Now, Just to reiterate, when I was in Chicago, and there's a lot of guys that are bald, they shave their entire head. So I decided to speak to two of them. I have somebody that's very, very close in my family that does it. I can't speak to them. But I went over them, and one of them had no clue. That was also. I said, you know that? He said, but I'm shaving my whole head. I said, yeah, okay, we went through this. Hakavas kol harosh shma kafa. It's either the Raisa or the Rabbanon. Now, if you could grab on a little bit, then that's not a problem. As long as you can grab on a little bit. Fine. But a woman doesn't have that isser. Just talking about it, because we in Nazir, we had this, yeah. I guess, okay. It's a shayla whether or not a woman, it's machlokes whether or not a woman has a isser to give a haircut to a cotton, not to be makif the cotton, but just pull that out for no other good reason, then we don't have much art today. Fine. Means the beard. They don't have isser to shave the beard. Actually, it's a big chiyuv for them too. And if she's a kohen, she's allowed to be metama to the. No, we got that joke. The metama to the mesim. My kol mitzvahs haben alav. What does it mean? If you're going to learn it a little differently than what you think, that it's a chiyuv on a mitzvah that the son is mechuyev to do to the father. Nashim p'turos can't be talking about kibbud aveim, but ta'anya ish ein li ish isha minayin. The famous pasuk ish imoy v'aviv tiro. So, but it says this pasuk starts off interesting. Ish, that the chiyuv is on a man, on a single man to fear his parents, to give them respect, honor. It's plural. Why does the Torah finish off with tiro? It just says ish imay v'aviv tiro. Tira'u, you, the two of you, should fear your mother and father. In other words, a man and a woman. So both a man and a woman are chayiv and kibbud aveim. Omer Rav Yehuda. So what's the pshat in the Mishnah? As the list is going to go on now, any mitzvah that a father does for the son, like we're familiar with the bris, pidyon ben, to marry him off, anoshim chayav and anoshim turas, that a mother is potter to do. Tanila tarabanon hav chay bibnoi. What does a father have to do for his son? He has to give him bris milah, v'liv doisai, and pidyon ben, ulelam de torah. A father is mechuyev to teach his son torah. Just the other day, I was in Chaniche, and I saw a Yerushalmi learning with his son. And for literally an hour and a half, he has another son that's a little bit, a little bit more ADD. But for an hour and a half, this kid was with his finger in the Gemara, learning. And I went over to him afterwards. I said, "You don't understand the matana which Baruch Hu gave you. I can't learn. My sons don't like to learn with me, which I do. You learned it for an hour and a half straight. It's unbelievable. Chap the godless." The Bakari over there in Prushim, the big long red beard. It's unbelievable. Sitting there learning with Yishma. Some people are zoicha, some aren't. But if you're not zoicha, so you give him over to a Rebbe. You make a shliach. But there's a chiyuv, the Raisa, to teach him Torah. Well, asiyo isha, and to marry him off, to help him out with shidduchim, to make a wedding for him. That's also your chiyuv. Asiyo isha. And to teach him a trade. Thank you. A trade. To teach him a trade. For whatever reason, I'm not sure. But if there's one line in Masechtas Kiddushin that I remember from school, it's this line over here. I know. No? Anybody else? Okay. The father should teach his son how to swim. Givaldik. Yeah, okay. So, Reb Zilberstein says that Bisman Hazeh, Lashitoi in the water means to give him driving lessons, to teach him how to be a safe driver, because you're giving the kid a killing machine, literally a killing machine at the age of 16. There, go try not to kill people. Don't go 100 miles an hour in a residential area. It's okay. So you got to teach him.
They said that the kid of Rav Chaim told him that. He said, go like this, okay, back to the base match.
What? Oh, to swim? Rav Chaim was trying to teach.
Go like this, back to the base.
You mean he's Yartzeit sein? He's Yartzeit. He taught him how to swim. Stating you have to teach him to swim. Go like this and like this. I don't think Rav Chaim said that. He's never had a pool. But they do say that when he was teaching this kid how to drive, because he holds like Reb Zilberstein, his son-in-law, his brother-in-law, he said what you do is you mix the gas like this. That's what they said. Just mix. I saw the taxi driver going like this. So you're supposed to mix a lot. Okay. If you don't teach your son a trade, that means you're teaching him how to steal. What, you taught him how to steal? Yes. When your son doesn't have parnasa, he doesn't have a trade, and he goes out into the world and you didn't teach him, so it's your responsibility. It's as if you taught him how to be a ganav. Unbelievable. You taught him to be a ganav. It's your responsibility. You can take this for other things as well.
So they're going to nourish the territories in Manhattan. You said the other day you can have that building, you can have that building. Is that
of course that's omnus. Let's see you do it, big talker. Of course. It's a specialty. There's a guy that come out every day to the Beis Medrash talking. He comes with a very, very nice car. And he's a professional. He smiles at everybody. Everybody gives him money more than the other guys. And they know that he has a nice car. He told me, he says, listen, I have chayvus, and I go to work every day. I work from 9 to 5, but I can't make it. So I come here for a little extra. And he gives everybody a good word. He gives a little litzonas, brand new car, latest model car. It's a chachma. You have to know how to do it. Lemulay, huh? Rabbi say help him out. He lost money on the X. All right, Lemulay, Minalan. D'chsiv vayomal Avram es Yitzchak benoi. How do you know that a father is mechuyev to do bris milah for his son? Because it says vayomal Avram es Yitzchak benoi ve'echad eloi mahali avua. And if the father doesn't do it, mechayev beidinin lemimilei, then the tzibur is mechuyev. The bezin has to give him milah. D'chsiv himoy lochem kol zachar. You, Klal Yisrael, you're mechuyev in all the zcharim. Ve'echad eloi mahali beidina. And if the bezin didn't do it, mechayev ihu, he himself has to do it to himself. The middle nafshay, get a moil when he's old enough. It's a terrible tsar. Rabbi Avi Factor was once mizakimi to be a sandik at a bris milah of a 20-something-year-old. Unbelievable. The guy was masking to do it. You get kares. You don't want to get kares, you do a bris milah. How do you know that the woman herself is not chayiv? Ask Tosfos. And you can think about this yourself. Is bris milah a mitzvah asesha azman groma? You could only do it after the kid is 8 days old. So there's a mitzvah asesha azman groma, and if it is, then why do I need a pasuk to tell me that a woman is not mechuyev in milah? So Tosfos says, no, it's not a mitzvah asesha azman groma. That's the same term we're going to use. Also, Rashi brings it for Pidyon Ben. Once the 8th day comes, then the chiyuv remains forever. Tosfos says, but you only do bris milah during the day, not at night. So that's mamish mitzvah. That's even a stronger question. So no. That's only when it's bismanoi. The first day, you do it during the day. But shaloi bismanoi, you can do it even at night. D'chsiv, it says in the pasuk, and we're going to read it, Rabbi said this Shabbos. Kasher tzivoisai Elokim. It's Kriyas HaTorah on Shabbos. Oisai, HaKadosh Baruch Hu was mitzvah him and not her. Oisai v'lo oisai. So we see that from Venus Chayav, the Doris Menolan, how do you know that this Chiyuv goes to generations? Tana de Shmuel, Kol Mokim Shenever Tzav. Anytime it says Tzav, you're commanded, Einu Ziruz Miyad, Ule Doiros, that it stays for generations. Ziruz, how do you know? D'chsiv, V'tzav Yeshua, V'chaskeu, give him Chizuk, V'chaz, give him Amtseu, Miyad, Ule Doiros, how do you know for generations? D'chsiv, Menayoy Vasher Tziva Hashem, from today, V'hala, and forward, L'Dorisechem, for all generations. L'Vdoisim Menolan, how do you know a father is mechuyev? Who knows how many different Torah at Pidyon Ben start with this Gemara right here? This is the Yisai that a father is mechuyev to do Pidyon Ben on the 30th day. You have to be part of your bechor. And if the father didn't, I can't say it enough times. When I became bar mitzvah, my father said, "Go ahead and do your own Pidyon Ben." I'm chayshish that the kohen that I did it with wasn't a real kohen or whatever. Take all your bar mitzvah money, etc. Should I say the story again? I knocked on the guy's. I went to the silver store. I gave him. I said, I need 5 sela of silver. So he gave me little pebbles, little balls of silver, and no thing. And then I went to the kohen. I knocked on the guy's door. He didn't say, here's a cup of water, here, come inside. He opened the door, he let me stay there. He right away pulls out from the thing, because I guess they do it every day. He gives me the thing, says, say this. He took my money, slammed the door, and so I felt like $1 million. I just took all my bar mitzvah money, gave it to this jerk, and he was paid to me. Next time when a little 13-year-old comes and gives you all his bar mitzvah money, take him inside, say a nice word to him. Thank you. The trauma that I had from there. You should do it for yourself. Says a double lashon. What's the double lashon? Sivda. Padai. What's sivda? Now, the Gemara says one of the most interesting drushes you'll ever see in your life. How do you know that a woman doesn't have to do pidyon haben? Now, the article for some reason, I don't know why, his Gemara is different, but in my Gemara there's a yud here. Tipade tifta. In the article also, in the regular part it says tipade tifta. He reads it tifta tipade. Okay, the idea is almost the same. The Gemara says it later also, but just here, just to make it slightly clearer, tipade means you should make sure that you are redeemed. Tifda means you should redeem others. So says the Gemara, it doesn't say these two words, it says one, but it says tifda. It says the second one. But it's extra, it's completely extra, so I'm going to learn from it. I'm telling you, you never saw a drasha like this in your life. Tipade tifda. If you could do the first thing on the right, tipade, if you could do atzmai, then you could do tifda other people. It's not done yet. We're not over. And how do you know that you yourself shouldn't be part of yourself? And now look at what happens here. It reverses. It does say tivda. So if you can do others, you can do yourself. If you can't do others, it's interesting that this same very, very interesting type of drasha is going to be said again on Amud Beis for different psukim. We're not done yet. It's a 3-step process here. And how do you know that other people now mechuyev to be paid to her? Okay, you only chayev to be paid to your son and not your daughters. So that's why you can go straight to the. Okay, ayin sham. Torah about who lived dice, who did live dice. If a person only has 5 selah to his name, and he realizes his father just tells him on his deathbed, by the way, oops, I never did a pidyon haben for you. And he has a son here. So what should he do? He only has 5 selah. It's himself or his son. Who? Koidim livnoi. His own mitzvah comes before his son. There's a very, very powerful line by Rabbi Victor Miller. They made a big reishim on me, this line. And it takes some time to digest what he said. Somebody asked him once, should I work more so that my children, I could buy them homes and set them up and buy them the right stuff and all the stuff? And he said, who koidim livnoi? Your chiyuv is to take care of yourself. Learn for yourself, do for yourself. And everybody's looking at me now. This guy's crazy. No. Why? Who said it's your chiyuv to buy your kids $1 million mansion? Let them work themselves, this is what he said. Of course, you take care of your kids. But that extra stuff that we all work for, we really want to set them up and buy them a business and then this and each one to their own thing. But everybody's buying their kids' houses. If you could take that time that you just spent earning more money to buy them houses, maybe take that time and learn for yourself. Who koidim livnoi? It's very, very deep, and it's something you need to think about. We take it for granted. Yeah, I have children. What, I brought them here? Stam. I shouldn't buy them a house. My father bought me a house. I shouldn't buy him a house. I shouldn't do this. Who koidim livnoi? Think about it. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, b'noi koidmoi. No. Rabbi Yehuda argues, he says no, his son comes before him. Why? Shezeh mitzvah say I love him. You, the father, who was supposed to be paid to you? Your father. So your father messed up. That's your father's problem. He's in the caver now. But now you have a chiyuv to be paid to your son. So that chiyuv comes first. You, when you're looking at yourself, it's not your chiyuv. Your father should have taken care of you when you were 30 days old, and he didn't. But now you have a special chiyuv to take care of your son. Take care of him first. Correct, but that comes first.
Maybe that came before you had a child.
Okay, so let's continue for a second. I hear what you're saying. It's a good kasha. Omer Birmio, he's asking, but you have the Gemara established you have a chiyuv to be part of yourself, and that came before you even had a son. Omer Birmio, huh? Right. Says Reb David, the way the mitzvah is constructed is that the father does for the son and not the son. And if you have time and you have extra money, then you do visa. Omer Birmio, Hakol Moedim, Daf Amud Beis. In honor of Uncle Elchanan Pressman, as a schus, Reb Uncle Elchanan Pressman, as a schus for a year filled with Mazal Brochen Atzlocha Parnos Bereva, Greg Haber, Brocha Parnos Atzlocha Brios for his family, Rav Eli, all of them, they want everyone doing that. Says the Gemara like this. Everybody agrees. Who Oh, you hear this? Answers what you're saying. If there's only 5 selah, you go first before your son. My time mitzvah the gufay adifa. You have a chiyuv on yourself. Take care of yourself. Keep ligi heicha deike chomesh mishua bodim the chomesh b'nei chayr. You have karka. You have real estate that you sold off, and you had a chiyuv to do a mitzvah with that karka. You had a chiyuv. You shouldn't have sold the karka, right? If you owe money, you sell your real estate. The guy goes after the real estate. You had a mitzvah. You sold your real estate. I could go after the Beis Hamikdash. HaKadosh Baruch Hu goes after your real estate. And the chomesh b'nei chayr. And you have 5 selah sitting in real estate that you own right now. It's free to go. Rebuke the Savar. Rebuke is the one that says that what? That his son comes first. Rebuke the Savar milved chsiv b'torah k'chsuv b'shtar damya. Since the Torah tells you must redeem your son, it's as if there's a shtar here. So if there's a shtar, when you sold off your property, you had no right to sell the property. It really belongs to the Kayan. Man chomesh parg lebrei. In the free money that you have, give first to redeem your son. As Rabbi Yehuda says, first goes the son, then goes you. So Nachama, when you're on your own, when you only have 5 selah, you go first. But you have 10 selah. One is already sold to somebody else in a piece of real estate, one you have. So the one that you have, give to redeem your son. And once that's done, now the Kayan could go after that real estate, the 5 selah. Fine. Rabban hold that you can't go after real estate that you sold. Why? Because just because you had a chiyuv in the Torah doesn't make it secure. It's not part of the real estate. You can't go after real estate. And therefore, right now we look at it as if you only have 5 selah, and when you only have 5 selah, you come first before your son. You have 2 mitzvahs in front of you. You have 5 selah. It costs you 5 selah to get from Tzfat all the way to Yerushalayim. There's a chiyuv to be oile regel, to go up to the Beis Hamikdash 3 times a year on Yantif. And you also have a chiyuv to be part of your son. What should you do? Paidis benoi v'achkach oile regel. You should do aliyah. You should do Pidyon Ben first. The Gemara is going to bring a pasuk. Rabbi Yehuda Omer oile regel v'achkach paidis benoi. It makes a lot of sense, Rabbi Yehuda. Why? Shezu mitzvah iveres, zu mitzvah she'nei iveres. This one is going to leave us. Once Yantif is over, you can't make it up. You can't go Matzi Yantif and say, oh, I wasn't oile regel, let me go today. Too late. But a Pidyon Ben, you can do it his entire life. Bishlam, he just said a beautiful reason. Why do they say the Pidyon Ben comes first? Check this pasuk out. Kol b'chor bonecha tivda in the same pasuk, line after line. Kol b'chor bonecha tivda v'leiro panei regel. So it says in the Torah you can make a drash that Pidyon Ben comes before leiro panei regel of Aliyah leregel. The makro kol b'chor bonecha tivda v'hadir leiro panei regel. Torah ban. How do you know that a man is mechuyev to do Pidyon Ben on every single one of his firstborn sons from 5 different women? All your b'charim. It doesn't say b'char, it says kol, all. All means that he has multiple. It says Gemara Pshita, of course he has to. It has nothing to do with the father, it has to do with the mother. Her firstborn son is a b'char, needs to do Pidyon Ben. The same in Eli, b'char menachla, you learn from inheritance. It has to do with the firstborn, the man's firstborn. Avkan reishis oinoi kamash malon. Lilam the Torah. Min alan, how do you know to teach Torah? You're mechuyev to teach your sons the whole v'shinatu l'v'nech v'dibar t'bam torah. And when your father doesn't teach you torah, he missed the boat over there, or you don't have a father, then you're mechuyev to put yourself in yeshiva and learn. So what's interesting is this is another pasuk in Devarim. It's not a play on words, v'limadatem, ulimadatem, like I understood right away. Rashi says it's a different pasuk. Oh, it makes a little bit of a difference. And how do you know that a woman is not mechuyev? Which means to teach your child. Ulimata means and to learn Torah. When you have a chiyuv to learn, mitzvah l'lamed, you have a chiyuv to teach your son. Since a woman doesn't have a chiyuv to learn Torah, she's not mitzvah to teach. On Shabbos I had 7 bachrim by us, so going through the table, it turns out like 3 of them are my nephews. But the bachrim from the yeshiva wanted to come for Shabbos. I said, why? He says, oh, my father does the daf. Another guy goes, I do the daf. My father does daf. My mother does the daf. So, mother, there's no chiyuv. You can do it. There's no chiyuv. How do you know? Okay, so you're not chiyuv to teach her, but how do you know that a woman does it a chiyuv to open up a sefer and learn on her own? Over here, it's the same type of drasha that we had before, but over here it's a little bit better. Meaning, over here, it's the real words. It's a real pasuk. Before, we were playing with the word tivde, with the yud, tipadeh, and tivde, but it's the same word. It's just a question how you put it in the kudas. Over here, it's a different psukim. Anyone that you're mechuyev to teach, so he is mechuyev to teach himself. If a father has a chiyuv to teach his son, and he wasn't taught, so his son has a chiyuv to teach himself. A girl, you don't have a chiyuv to teach her, so she doesn't have a chiyuv to teach herself. And how do you know that other people don't have a chiyuv? A father didn't grow up with yeshiva and everything, and now he has a son. Who should he spend his time and money on? On teaching his son or himself? Who? He should teach himself. Oh, so here's that Rav Chaim Kanevsky. If the son is Zorez and Mamulach, he's a very sharp kid, and has a good memory, chaps what's going on, so over here, says Rav Chaim Kanevsky, you see that we don't go on hard work and effort when it comes to this. We go on who's sharper.
Doesn't say that.
But he wants to work. He wants to work. I hear.
He also wants to work.
Listen to this. Rav Yaakov, the son of the famous Rav Acher Bar Yaakov. We're going to have a good story about him. Famous Maisa. The son of Rav Acher, whose name was Rav Yaakov. His grandfather was Yaakov, and he's Yaakov. So he sent him to learn by Abai. He also, when he comes home, Rav Acher Bar Yaakov does it for her. That's what you did over there for a year. Why did I send you? I'm better than you. I should have gone myself. To that, you stay here, take care of whatever we need to take care of. Let me go. So Abai was all excited. He heard the Revacha, the father, is coming. There was a certain shed in the base medrash. When 2 people would come there, usually when 2 people come, the shadim go away. This guy was a big chutzpah shade. Even during the day, here we have a picture of the shed. He would be mazik people. We have a trick. Since Ravach is coming, don't give him hachnasas archim. He comes into the city, pretend you don't even see him. There'll be a big nest, and he'll have to take care of the nest. All bas bahu bei rabbanon. So he went, and he didn't have where to stay, so he went to the Beis HaMedrash. So he appeared like a snake that has 7 heads. Every time he bowed, 1 head fell off. So the next day, Ravach was upset. If not the fact that it was an nest, I would have been in big danger. So the Marsha asks over here, how in the world did Abai have the right to put Ravacha in danger. And Elamai, Ravacha is such a tzaddik, he's going to be saved. So in Soim Chalanes, it takes away from the schusim, as the Marshal. Anytime you do a nace, even a gadol, even a rebbe, it takes off from his schusim. So the Marshal says unbelievable thing, and I thought it's a big yesod. He says Abayo was certain he had a suffix, but he knew that Ravach could daven, and davening is not considered Soim Chalanes. That doesn't take away from schusim. Davening is natural. It's you daven, you get it. Rabbi said, I just have a request from the Olam. I had a little bit of a pshat here, but it needs a lot of help. And my pshat was, and I would hope that somebody sends in tomorrow, or a few people send in to fix it up, and maybe Noam, you guys could help me out. That the 7-headed snake maybe represents Daf Yomi. Every year that you learn the Daf, you get rid of one demon, one thing, and you keep on going 1 year after another year, and after 7 years, you don't conquer the Yitzhahara, but you get rid of all those the hurdles and the difficulties.
Every day, 7 days a week.
7 days a week, but then Rabbi Sai, have a wonderful day.